Hello, welcome. Dr. Sushma Singh this side. Today in Unit 22, Religion and Culture, we are going to start our lecture with topic Culture, Meaning and Definition. The concept of culture has rightly received prime attention in sociological research owing to its centrality in understanding the nature and performance of the social arrangement called society. Culture is probably one of the most discussed and debated topic in sociological literature because of its central location in the study of individual in society. This concept has attracted the attention of sociologists, cultural anthropologists, literacy scholars, and social psychologists, among others, in understanding human social behavior. With its multifaceted and multidimensional features, the study of culture has gained increasing importance over the last few decades. In ordinary speech, the word culture is often used to refer to the sophisticated taste in art, literature, music, and so on. The sociological use of this term is much wider, for it includes the entire way of life of a society. Hence, the relationship between culture and religion is very close. Culture sometimes is explained in terms of material and non-material, while artifacts such as books, pens, schools, factories, wheels, etc. represent the material culture. More abstract creations such as language, ideas, religious beliefs, customs, myths, and so on constitute the non-material culture. Like the explanations, the definition of the term culture also is wide-ranging. Culture has been defined in broad terms as a design for living, or a set of mechanisms, plans, recipes, rules, roles, construction, or what may be described in the computer terminology as programming for social behavior. Both the definitions point to the vitality and significance of culture in society. Culture points out the human way of adapting to the environment, are designed for living, acquired through learning. Culture is achieved or acquired and not innate or ascribed. It is obtained through human socialization, the continuous and ongoing process of interaction and learning through which we acquire a personal identity and social skills to adjust and develop. The content of this process of acquisition carried forward from one human collectivity to the next. In other words, culture is transmitted from one generation to another. It should be noted that the what kind of individual we become is strongly influenced by enculturation, the immersion in a culture to the point where that particular design for living seems only natural and given inevitably. Most of us do not question our cultural practices and do not view them critically because they are naturally ours and are not external to us. Every individual is accidentally born into a family and he or she acquires a culture as the member of that particular collectivity. Because of the cultural traits are specific to and identifiable within a given community, there cannot be a generalized and universal judgment on the desirability and undesirability of any cultural element or practice. In other words, a cultural system is available only to its members, and outside agents cannot judge the appropriateness of the a culture by standards external to that culture. Justification for or critique of a culture and its practice can meaningfully emerge only from within. Culture is generally typified as material and non-material culture, although that distinction has some notional overlapping. The many different sections that make up a groups designed for living, from sophisticated science and technology to toys and children's games, from great works of arts and music to kitchen utensils, from sacred ceremonies and worshipping acts to customs like shaking hands or saying namaste, from beliefs about what does and does not taste good. Even sex, all are shaped by learning all through life. Learning is of central importance in cultural acquisition, as noted earlier. The degree of this learning determines the rate and extent of understanding culture and related courses of action within the group. Thus, culture defines the way of life of the individual. Of all the learning applications, acquiring religion has a very special place in an individual's life. This provides a position to the individual in his or her social functioning within the group. Therefore, a sociological discussion on religion invariably leads to an elaborate discussion on culture and the reciprocal relationship between these two important elements of society. Culture consists of all the shared product of human society, both the objects and subjective elements. Culture influences all aspects of individuals living in society. In fact, as Parsons pointed out, the social system and cultural system cannot exist independent of one another, and any such distinction is made only for the sake of abstraction and analysis. Culture forms the platform for all other social institutions, including family, kinship, science, economy, polity, and religion. Religion and culture are closely linked and cannot be separated from the complex social phenomena called society. As Clifford Getzard observed, non-culture human beings do not in fact exist, never have existed, and most important, could not be in the nature of the case exist. The unprecedented success of our species depends on the existence of human culture. We create culture, and the culture in turn creates us. Our shared culture is what makes our social life possible. Without a culture transmitted from the past, each new generation would have to solve the most elementary problems of human existence over again. Without culture, we probably would have to invent fire every morning. Cultures around the world vary widely, and each culture is unique in its form and content. Cultural variations can be explained in terms of the functions that particular elements serve in maintaining the social system, and in terms of their ecological significance as an adaptation to the total environment around us. It is true that human migration and mobility have led to cultural exchange and sometimes interaction of people of different cultures for trade and commerce or pilgrimages and so on might have also resulted from diffusion from one culture to another. In essence, our cultures consist of five basic elements: belief or idea about how the world operates, values or idea about the meaning of life, norms and sanctions or guidelines for behaviors, expressive symbols or material representation of ideas and values, and language. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.